Well, I don't know where the tone gets set, but I know that it plays out in communities throughout the county. And it's basically, I think, more than one person. I think that there's a structure with OPS that's not working.
And OPS is?
The Office of Professional Standards, which is the organization that is supposed to investigate and make sure that when complaints are made against police officers that they are looked into.
But you were in the Marines.
Yes.
And in the Marines, you told me that one of your jobs was to take orders.
And to give orders.
Okay, but when you took orders, the orders came from the top down.
That's right.
Okay, and again, at the top of the police department, it's either the police superintendent and his boss is the mayor.
Right.
Do you believe that they are doing enough to stop these rogue police officers who are terrorizing, minorities, with brutality and coercion, as you wrote in the Sun-Times?
There is an effort currently to change the structure of the agency that investigates police misconduct. The mayor and the corporation counsel in my office have worked on what that's going to look like. Who's going to run that is something that is being decided. I think that there has been agreement that the structure of OPS was not working, and that's the reason for the change.
There's a lawsuit pending in the United States federal court. And I know that there have been some groups that want to get access to the names of these rogue cops who have been terrorizing people in our communities. You familiar with that suit?
Yes.
And the mayor's office has taken the position, and the corporation counsel, Mara Georges, who you referred to, have taken the position that the names of some of these officers who have been accused of, committing as many as 100 acts of, improper nature have not been disclosed. You're aware of that?
Yes.
As a public defender, as a resident of or someone who grew up on the West Side, how do you think the public reacts when they see that these rogue cops that you talk about seemingly are being protected behind that blue wall of silence that's coming straight from, the corporation counsel who takes her direction from the mayor? I
think that feeds what is abundant enough in our community, a mistrust of the police department.
Have you been able to or made an attempt to share your feelings and your views with the corporation counsel and with the mayor?
We have. I don't get to talk to the mayor, but we certainly, in conversations that my people have had with the corporation counsel, have shared our views and made our recommendations. And I have to say they've been receptive to a lot of our suggestions and some that they haven't. But the thing that I am upbeat about is that we have been included in a lot of the planning and the recommendations for the new structure for investigating and disciplining and making recommendations on police officers who've gone rogue. And I want to say that it's a small percentage of the police officers, but I also have to say that those individuals should not be protected. I mean, if they are there to serve and protect, as a defense counsel, I want to make sure that the clients that I'm representing are not victims to those individuals.
Ed, before we wrap up, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. If you were to get a magic wand and be able to do some things for the public defender's office before you leave, what would you do?
I would do a couple of things. One, the one involves money and the other and resources, and the other one doesn't. I think long-lasting benefit to the public defender office, and which I wish for the public defender, is that we would be connected to our community in a way that whenever somebody did anything that compromised our ability to represent our clients, that the community would be in an uproar. And that's going to happen.
And how would that happen?
Well, we have to make an effort to get in our community and connect with our community, because some views they have of how we practice is not true, and where it is true, we have to work with them to change it so that they get the kind of representation that human beings with dignity should receive. The other is that people would realize that it's kind of like that oil filter commercial. You can pay me now or pay me later. You can pay for a well-funded, resourceful public defender office, or it's going to cost you a lot more in people who are detained and the time that it takes to try cases. So if you don't fund the public defender's office, it's going to cost you more money. It's what I call the new math. If you cut us, it costs the taxpayers more money.
Who do you see as potential folks to succeed you?
That I am not going to share with you, but I will tell you that in order to be a leader, you need to have followers. So succession training is a big part, and positioning people to move to the next level is a big part of my leadership style. And I do have individuals in mind that I think should be in the mix to be the next public defender. But I don't want to either bolster their chances or hurt their chances by mentioning them in public.
I understand. And my last question for you is, do you think your successor is somebody who's already in the public defender's office, or conceivably somebody who's outside of the office?
I think the way the office is positioned and the things that we've been going through for the last 4 or 5 years, I think it should be someone within the office.
Okay. Well, Ed, thanks so much for coming by and giving us your time and being as candid and frank. And we've had just a great opportunity to speak with Ed Burnette, again, who's the public defender for Cook County, supervising hundreds of lawyers and who's directly responsible for hundreds of thousands of cases. The Cook County Public Defender's Office is the second largest office of public defenders in the United States, and so Ed has a huge task in front of him. He's been there for several years, and we wish him well. And with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and again, on behalf of 22,000 members of the Chicago Bar Association, I'm Vic Henderson. Thank you, and look forward to seeing you next time.